couple of minutes. Now, I'm joined on the line by Owen Connolly. He's a counselling psychologist and of Connolly Counselling Centre. Owen, you're welcome to the programme.
Thank you very much, and delighted to be on your programme.
We're delighted to have you, Owen, particularly on something such as this. An awful lot of people are worried about COVID-19, and that may be as a result of sensationalist reportage, or perhaps matters in their own household. Perhaps somebody that they love may have a compromised immune system, but children can be particularly sensitive. Perhaps not smaller children, but those who may be 8, 9, 10, 11, who are of age to engage with news media, and they may be particularly sensitive perhaps to worrying about issues like COVID-19. How should we best speak to them?
Well, first of all, we need to understand that an awful lot of children of that age group are, they do worry and they do get anxious about lots and lots of things. And yes, we do need to inform them that there are things that they need not worry about. And particularly when it's a virus like this, that we need to explain to them, your head cold and your flu and all these other areas that we get from time to time and recover successfully from, they're viruses. And what we have inside of us, which you need to be able to inform the little ones, is that we have an entire army inside of us, beautifully prepared to take on any of these viruses that come along, because over time, we've trained an army to deal with the ones that we're familiar with. And so what we were at the moment doing is preparing a particular situation where we can put a little piece of a dead section of this virus in us eventually, that will also train up a whole load of soldiers to take it on and knock it out.
And I always think that language around soldiers to fight, disease or illness can often have great currency with children.
Oh, absolutely, because they can see it. They can imagine that they have these wonderful abilities that are already built into them, because their mother has had that and passed it on, and it passed on in mum's milk and so on, and they passed on also in the injections they get when they're little. They get this ability to build up this incredible army that takes on these viruses and wins. And that's what it is. And the reason that people who are compromised and whose systems are pretty low, whatever, it's just that their army mightn't have sufficient strength, and so they need special care from parents and doctors, etc., to ensure that they survive the attack.
Now, it's one thing reassuring your child about the facts that are available to us. It's quite another, perhaps, trying to wash away disinformation that your child might come into contact with or to. Particularly, let's say, for example, Mommy, my friend said X, Y, and Z about this, and you're trying gently to remove that disinformation without casting aspersions on friend's mommy.
Well, we do need to understand that, the majority of us, thankfully, are well, and young children have tremendous resilience. And often when there's something like this happens and they're in touch with and they get an element of it in their bodies, they need to also, it's uncomfortable and it's not very happy, you're not happy about it, but to actually understand that your body is actually designed very specifically to take on any foreign, anything that's foreign that it interprets as foreign coming into the body. And so it trains up mechanisms within our body to capture it and kill it eventually. That happens. Sorry.
Owen, at what point should you be concerned that your child is perhaps more anxious than you would expect over something like this, or is maybe catastrophizing?
Well, children who go down the road of catastrophizing, it could be completely something different. Often children whose their own natural system is on a state of alert all the time, and they're more likely to worry about everything that happens and catastrophize these things. And they probably need to have little exercises to help them to deal with that. We would suggest an awful lot of it is to get them to nice and relax and do some nice deep breathing exercises and so on. It also helps to increase the oxygen level, of course, which is another wonderful part of our mechanism for defeating all kinds of things. But to breathe lovely oxygen into our system, to do what we call belly breathing, and that also helps the child to relax. So when they're in a state of anxiety, if you can get them just to lie down, put a teddy in their belly and let them do a bit of teddy surfing. In other words, breathe into the nose, pushing out their tummy, teddy coming up and down, and that actually will bring the body into a state of relaxing as well. So these are the kind of things you get when they're quite young. They need to just be helped to calm down, and nothing calms them better than a little bit of belly breathing.
And that's a great skill for life, and it would also give the child a sense of ownership and control over their own feelings, because they know how to make themselves feel a little bit better.
Exactly. As they go on, they know that this works, and they continue to do it. Even going into school when they're a bit scared or frightened, to do the same thing helps them then to be able to manage that moment when they get a bit anxious. And that works for them. But I'm still saying that we need to have a language that explains to the children that they're beautifully designed to be able to defeat these things when they come. And if it does happen to them from time to time, and it would be uncomfortable for a bit of a time, but then once it's over, their system then works on building an army to defeat it if it comes near them again.
Owen Connolly, counselling psychologist at the Connolly Counselling Centre. Thank you indeed for joining us.